everybody, it's Cathryn from In the Pink Designs. I hope everybody had a good weekend. My project today is it's kind of like a card treat holder. This one has a Ghirardelli in it, but it will hold any thin candy. Like these are 2 Hershey. It'll probably hold 1 Kit Kat. It measures total 4 by 3.5. It will also hold a gift card in there, but right now it's stretched out from having the candy in there, so I don't want to, it'll slip right out now, but we'll try it after. I used the Playing in the Rain stamp set and die set, along with the Rain or Shine DSP. So, what we need for this project, and today is the day I can order from the new catalog, so hopefully I'll have some new things soon to show you. Alright, this is my new host code for April. If you're going to purchase anything under $150, please put that in. I would appreciate that. Okay, so the thing with this is it is 6 by 4 1/4. So you can get 3 of these out of each 8.5 by 11 cardstock. You would cut it first at 6 on the short side, and then 4 1/4, and then what's left up here on the long side, you could do another 6 by 4 1/4. All right, so you could get 3 of these, especially if you want them for a bunch of people. This is perfect. So again, this is Mango Melody, which is retiring 6 by 4 1/4. We need 2 pieces of the Playing in the Rain DSP. On this one, on the back, I just used mostly my scraps. So this one I used the Rain, and this one I'm going to use this here. So we need 2 pieces. One I did with the sky, and one any scrap I had. That is 3 1/4 by 3 3/4. And this sky on the back of the inside, actually, of this one, it only came down to about here, my scrap, which is fine because you're not going to see it down there anyway. All right. Okay, so 2 total, 3 1/4 by 3 3/4. We need 1 for the front here that is 3 1/4 by 1 3/4. I cut 2 of the grass from old Olive Cardstock, 1 of the tree stump from Crumb Cake cardstock. We need some basic white for stamping also. Okay, so let me get my Simply Scored. I'll put this in there again. And we're going to start on the 6-inch side. It's really very, very simple, and you can make a bunch of these. And you don't have to use these figures. You could use any figures you like. If the other characters in the stamp set are your favorite, or a different stamp set you could always use. Alright, so on the 6-inch side, we're going to score at 2. And then we're going to turn it to the 4 1/4 inch side, and we're going to score at 3/8 and at 3 7/8. Okay, and that's it. Okay, and I'm just going to fold and burnish all of the score lines. Okay, and this is what we're going to do. The skinny rectangles, they're 3/8 inch, are at the top and bottom, and then there's a 2-inch piece on the left. And that's what we're going to do. So let's start on the left-hand side on the bottom. You're going to go to the first score line, cut it to the first score line, and then we're going to take this long skinny rectangle off and take the score line with it, because we want a nice straight edge without any score line bumps in it. Okay. All right, and then we're going to turn it to the other side. We're going to go to the first score line, cut it to the first score line, and then take this piece off. Okay, and then we're going to round the corners of both sides of this larger piece here. Okay, and I can see I missed a little bit of my score line. There we go. All right, so this here is going to fold like this. Okay, so this is what your cardstock's going to look like after you're done scoring it, cutting it, and rounding those two corners. Now, we have to glue these two, what's left of the two skinny rectangles, we're going to glue it onto the back. All right, so we're going to flip it up and just pull these to the back. And you want to make sure that you hold it for a little while, because it's kind of hard for it to stay that way. So we want to make sure we really get it glued down. And there's your little pocket treat holder or gift card holder. And you could write a little note on the back if you want, or you could stamp a sentiment there if you want to. Now we have our 3 pieces of DSP, and we're going to stick the cloud one on the inside, and my other piece with the pink I'm going to put on the back. We're going to put it over the edges of those 2 pieces we glued to the back. So we have to round the top edges of both of these pieces that are 3 1/4 by 3 3/4. Just one of the short sides, both edges. All right, now the cloud one, I'm gonna put glue on it and stick it right down in. And then the piece of the flowers and the grass that is 3 1/4 by 1 3/4 is gonna go right there. If you don't have this paper left, you could just use some balmy blue cardstock, and you could either emboss the clouds on with some white embossing, or you could cut them out with the dies and just glue them on there. All right, so you see when it's not bent up, or not bent, I'd say it's stretched a little from the candy, the gift card fits in there nice. And you could always put a little glue dot if you're not sure it's secure. And then I'll just put this one on the back over those pieces we glued. Okay, and before you put it on, if you want to stamp something, you can stamp that before. Just make sure to bring it down lower than this little piece of ribbon would be. All right, so now let's let that dry a minute and we'll do some stamping. We need to stamp just the bunny. You don't need the bottom puddle. Okay, and I'm going to cut that out, and I'll be back in a minute. Okay, so there's our bunny. I'm going to be using just a few markers. Light smoky slate, light flirty flamingo, dark crumb cake, dark balmy blue, and a color lifter. So first let's do the light crumb smoky slate, and we're just going to make a little triangle in the tops of the ears and color just the tip of the foot. And then I'm just going to take the color lifter and just kind of blend in the edges of it. All right, and then we're going to take light flirty flamingo. I'm just going to put one line in the inner ear here and the nose, and then I'm going to make a circle in the middle next to the smile there, and just a little piece of one over here. All right, now we're going to take the color lifter again, and I'm just going to run it over the cheeks to just blend them a little bit, and the ears. Okay. Now with the dark balmy blue, I'm going to do the inside of the collar here, and I'm going to do that again. So let's just do the rest of the coat with the dark balmy blue first. And then I'm going to go over that collar an extra time, just to make it a tiny bit darker. Alright, and now we need our stump, and I'm just going to take my dark crumb cake. You can do this with a sponge and your ink pad, but I'm just going to go along the edges, just make it a little bit of color on there. And then I'm going to use the skinny one, and I'm just going to put a small line where the top separates from the bottom. It doesn't have to be neat, it can be a bit messy too. Alright, and then I also cut 2 of the grass from old Olive Cardstock. Alright, first I want to put my grass down, the one that bends this way. I'm going to put that down with liquid glue. Okay, and then I'm going to put my stump, and it's just going to touch a little bit of the grass over here. Okay, and then the other grass that bends this way, I'm going to put over on the left side. And I'm going to get some dimensionals. And I'm going to put, you have to keep it low on the ears, because we're going to put this ear's fine, but it has to be low on that ear that sticks up. Put one right there, one right there, and then I'm just going to cut some edges for the feet. I'm just going to have it in the back of the foot sticking up. And then I'm just going to put him down with this foot over the stump. Alright, now we need a small hole punch. I think this is 1/8 of an inch, but you could use whatever you want. And I'm going to put it about, I'd say, 1/4 inch down from the top. And I want 2 holes basically in the middle. Okay, and then I'm going to get my iridescent glittered organdy ribbon, actually, sorry about that. Okay, and then I'm just going to tie a bow. Alright, and then this time I have a blue one that I'm going to stick in there. Alright, and for the final touch I'm going to add some Milky Dots, which are retired. If you don't have them, you could use some rhinestone basic jewels, or the iridescent rhinestone basic jewels would look pretty too. Alright, and I'm going to put a small one on the stump and a large one right there, and another small one right on the tip of the grass. And then I'm going to put a large one up here and a small one down, so we have 5 there. And that's it. My email is below for any questions, and the link to my blog that has all of the measurements and directions written out, and also the link to my shop with Stampin Up. Please don't forget the host code for anything under 150. Please subscribe and hit the like button, and I will see you next time. Have a great night. Bye.